Domenica Barberi and welcome to the city. And tonight we'll take a guided tour through the magnificent Drum Theatre, a real gem right in the heart of Dandenong. We'll also check out the plans for Saturday's historic opening of the new Noble Park Aquatic Centre. But first off tonight, we conclude our story on our city's waste collection and disposal. Daryl Pittman did the rounds with the Parks and Waste team before learning all about how our rubbish is recycled.
Last week we spent a day with the city's Parks and Waste team as they worked around the clock to keep our streets, footpaths and parks clean. Tonight we continue the story with the removal of graffiti, our weekly Kerbside rubbish collection, and check out the world of recycling.
Daryl, we're here in Dandenong Park. Dandenong Park's going to go through a bit of a facelift over the coming years, but certainly with our routine maintenance and cleaning programs, one of the things we do is clean this playground equipment and remove graffiti. Graffiti is a significant problem through the municipality. We've spent upwards of $300,000 in any given year to remove graffiti. The last couple of years that's dropped off a little bit, and last year was around $150,000 to remove graffiti. Still a lot of money to be doing that sort of needless work when we could be investing in some new playground equipment. Approximately about 14,000 square metres of graffiti we removed last year. It's pretty simple. We've got a good contractor in place where if a member of the public reports some graffiti, we send them out a works order and they come and remove it. The other method of removal we have is the Department of Justice provides us with a crew that goes around to our parks and repaints fences. All those paling fences that you see hit with graffiti, we can repaint them in a nice green and get rid of that offensive look. You can see here Leon removing some graffiti from one of our playground units in Dandenong Park. Leon works with Urban Maintenance System, who's council's preferred contractor to do this work. UMS employ a range of techniques to remove from various surfaces. If you see some graffiti on any of council's assets, please report this to council. It's a pretty easy process for us to get UMS to come along and remove it. Council's Kerbside waste and recycling collection goes to every household throughout the municipality each week. It's the one service that everyone accesses all through the year. There's nearly 100,000 bins emptied each week, 50,000 garbage bins and 50,000 recycling bins. Your co-mingled recycle is emptied one week and then the following week the green waste bin's emptied. Recycling is important for our environment. The recycles collected in this truck will go to a recycling sort facility where they'll be sorted and reused to make other products. Ensure you don't put items in your recycling bin that aren't recyclable. We find strange and weird and wonderful things in our recycling bins like batteries, rubbish, dead animals, car parts and a whole range of things that are no good in the recycling stream. And don't put your recyclables in a plastic bag. Plastic bags cannot be recycled, and unfortunately those items in a plastic bag will be rejected. And please don't overload your bin, because this can cause spillage and a mess in your street. And finally, don't squash your contents in the bin. You might think you're getting a bonus by crushing everything down and stomping on it, but all it could do is jam your bin up and not have it fully emptied.
But where does our recycled rubbish go after it's collected? We ventured along to Polytrade Recycling in Dandenong South to find out. I'm with Greg North, the Kerbside manager at Polytrade Recycling, and Greg, this is where all of our waste comes.
That's correct. All of Dandenong's recyclables come to this facility, yes. We commenced here in operations in 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and we first started off with about 70 tonne a day of recyclables, and this has grown now to about 500 tonne a day of recyclables. It's the most up-to-date MRF in Australia presently, the most recent built, and it's got the state-of-art facilities. What you can see in the background here is where we receive the recyclables. They get trucked in by the City of Dandenong, and we stockpile them here, then we process them through into the facility next door, which we'll go through shortly.
And Greg, of course, it's all about education as well, to tell people how their waste is recycled.
That's correct. We've set up here modern education facilities. We've got CCT television footage of what's happening around the site, and we have regular tours. TEAS organises the community from Greater Dandenong to come through this facility, and they can get a first-hand view of what's happening to their waste, or recyclables as we call them.
So Greg takes us through the process, commencing with the arrival of the trucks.
Every truck that comes in here is all weighed and is sent electronically back to our computer so that we have absolute recording of the tonnes that come in. On average, we get around about 45 tonne a day coming in from the City of Dandenong, and that's fully recorded over these weigh bridges.
And this is where all those aluminium cans go, as Greg explains.
This is one of the 5 products that we produce here at Polytrade. This is our baled aluminium. Every one of those blocks weighs around about 800 kilo. And you'll see it's very, very clean product, and it's well sought after.
Away from the noise of the plant, Greg explains the basics of the recycling process.
What we have here is the containers coming in off our pre-sort belt. The first item that gets taken off on this sort process is the glass. The first 3 screens breaks all the glass into mixed cullet. Then further along these screens, the plastic and aluminium cans and steel cans go through the screens. Then eventually we have the paper and cardboard floating on top of the screens to get baled up straight into our paper baler. And in essence, this is the nuts and bolts of this MRF. We've got 2 pre-sorters, we call them, and they physically take out the large gas bottles and the large contaminants that really residents shouldn't be putting in there. That's the only part of the manual process we have. All the rest is done by machines. 52% of our product is mixed paper, and that all gets fed into the automatic baler that does around about 16 tonne an hour. This is the tail end of our plant. Once the paper and cardboard come off into the balers, the rest of the product, the containers, the plastics, the aluminium and the steel, goes through the air classifier and magnets and eddy currents, which takes off those individual products. The plastic also is in a mixed state. We don't sort our HDP or our Coke bottles. That goes into a mixed product, which is exported overseas. Our eddy currents source our aluminium into aluminium blocks that we've seen, and the magnets, of course, is quite easy. That just takes out the tin plate off our fully commingled recyclables. 33% of our volume by weight is glass. The picture to our right, we can see our mixed glass going straight into the truck to go to another processing facility, where it's optical sorted and made back in, and obviously made back into bottles after it's colour sorted optically.
Well, thanks for that, Greg. A fascinating insight into what happens to our recyclable waste.
Thanks very much, Daryl. It's been very much a pleasure.
As Greg mentioned, Polytrade Recycling, along with TEAS, conduct regular education programs at the plant. And in coming weeks, we'll take a look at how the City of Greater Dandenong is educating tomorrow's homeowners about the importance of recycling. We'll also check out what happens to our green waste and food waste.